All right, welcome back to the Bumper Breakfast Show. We've been talking about the various topics that are, trending, particularly the Okada ban. But right about now on the Bumper Breakfast, we're going straight into the matters of insecurity, which are particularly, let me say trended, yesterday.
Yeah, I'm still trending.
I'm still trending, but the one that is trending right now is the protests.
Okay, yeah, by the Christian Association
exactly.
of Nigeria.
And carefully we look at some of the messages from all the pastors that are leading the protest. Of course, I'm going to start with Pastor Adejare Adeboye of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, the General Overseer. He said he demonstrated his stance against insecurity and that every life is precious to God by leading what he called the prayer walk yesterday. He called for an end to the bloodshed in the country, stressing that whether a Christian or a Muslim, every life is precious to God. Shortly before the walk against insecurity, Adeboye, who said every soul lost to insurgency was precious to God, prayed that evildoers in the country would be exposed. Meanwhile, the Whitechapel Parish also followed the directive to register the displeasure at the high level of insecurity in the country. The Archbishop of the Metropolitan See of Lagos, Alfred Adewale Martins, also joined other Nigerians in calling on the international community to assist in fighting insecurity in the country. All right, the CAN chairman of Kaduna, also led protesters, that's Reverend Joseph Ayab, carrying placards and converge on the Al-Barka Fellowship Baptist Church to express their dissatisfaction against the federal government over its alleged inability to end insurgency and kidnappings. All right, so many leaders of various churches, particularly the Methodist Church in Osogbo, so practically every community, and I know that so many churches, the CAC also joined just yesterday, and Baba Abiara himself, Samuel Abiara, the retired general evangelist of the Christ Apostolic Church, also joined the protest, and as the federal government,
since it's an association thing, so obviously all churches should
will be joining. And the message particularly from him was that the federal government will not oppose the Western Nigeria security outfits as a network, Operation Amotekun, urging the government to tackle the problem of insecurity in the country with everything. Saying that government should not oppose any platform created to support its effort to fight insecurity. There is need, I'm quoting him, there is need for the government to be more proactive in addressing the insurgency issue in our country. And he wants the federal government to tackle the issue of insecurity by all means, so that Nigerians can go about their business without fear. He said, let me at this junction advise the federal government not to go against any platform that is created to support our state efforts in securing the lives of and property of our citizens. After all, the fight against insecurity and banditry must be a collective effort of all law-abiding Nigerians. Moreover, there is nothing bad in others collaborating with our security agencies to fight all criminal activities. All right, so many Christian leaders yesterday embarked on this journey, and majority of them particularly are calling on governments to tackle insecurity from all angles, with every tool available. Mr. Olayinka Daniels, is this late coming out? One of the reactions people had is, finally they are talking. What have they been waiting for? Do you think this is late?
Yeah, well, for me, it's better late than never.
Okay.
Well, I said that earlier that it was long overdue. That we expected it long time ago. From religious leader, not just Christians, even the Muslims, and because they are also being killed. We hear news of them going into mosques and they are killing people, and the mosques too. So it's not just limited to Christians. So this is the time. The so-called religion or religious people need to come together. Form a formidable force. We can't have the number we have under religion in this country and that we cannot make impact in this country, or that we cannot tell the government what we want. We are the government. We are the people.
Yeah.
These people are not up to 5,000. We make the government if we are ready. If all of us come together, the Muslims, the Christians, with the numbers we have, and we march and we say, Aso Rock, you must do something.
Yeah.
Then let all of them also. I'm not talking about just religious people. I'm talking about Christians. I'm talking about Muslims, the faithful ones, the people that have the fear of God. Let them send their people to different political offices. They have the numbers. We practice democracy, mind you.
Yeah.
We have the numbers. We will get those votes. And we will get there. And that's the reason why I'm saying Christians and Muslims, the faithful, as in, and the other side, whatever, as in people, I'm talking about people that have the fear of God. I'm not talking about people that use religions to cover. To say I'm a Christian because they want votes.
Yeah.
And because they know that they have numbers, so that the Christians will they will gain sympathy votes from the Christians and the Muslims, and they get sympathy votes from their Muslims, and they say they are Muslims. And the truth is they are not. And that is why when they get there, they don't remember any other thing. They seal themselves away from you. When they get there, it's about me, myself, and I.
And I.
So until when we are ready, it's a welcome development.
Yeah.
It's a good step. That is just step one. Now is when they need to start working. We should have step 2. We should have step 3. And that includes inflating every corners.
Yeah.
Let them put the ones they know. Yes, these ones are Christians. These ones are Muslims. As I'm talking about the faithful ones. The other side, I'm talking about people, or even the ones that they know that these people, they have integrity. These people, they have the fear of God. There are people that don't carry religions on their head. I'm not Christian, I'm not Muslim, but you can say, this is
way of life.
A good person.
This one. No, he has the fear of God, and he will go and deliver. That is what we should be looking at. It is a good step. It's a welcome development. Then let us take it one step after the other. We can't sit back and have people